Do you truly believe if you ain't first, you're last?
What the hell? There's a goddamn cougar in the car.
Oh, there's a cougar in the car. I put it in there.
Well, shake and bake, baby, because this video is for you. Today we are talking about my top 5 most affordable supercars for average Joes like me and you. Guys, welcome back to the channel. For everybody returning, it's good to see you guys again. If this is your first time here, we talk about cars, we talk about trucks, we talk a little bit about money, and we talk a lot about love, all right? So please consider subscribing below. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button and let me know you subscribe so I can give you that thumbs up, or just thank you personally because you're pretty awesome. So today we have a special video planned for you guys. It's a long-awaited video, something I've been wanting to do for a long time. So I know you guys saw in the thumbnail what this video is going to be about, but let me ask you guys something before we jump into this. Do you like to go fast? Do you live your life a quarter mile at a time? And in that 10 seconds, are you free?
Those 10 seconds or less, I'm free.
Do you truly believe if you ain't first, you're last?
What the hell? There's a goddamn cougar in the car.
Oh, there's a cougar in the car. I put it in there.
Well, shake and bake, baby, because this video is for you. Today we are talking about my top 5 most affordable supercars for average Joes like me and you. So I went ahead and I compiled my list of the top 5 supercars with some honorable mentions, I gotta say that, but we based this criteria off of 4 categories, okay? The first category being it had to have a manual transmission, a true manual transmission. None of this pedal shifter stuff, okay? No automatics, we're talking manual transmissions. It has to have one, right? Because we know we want to be shifting through gears, okay? So we have to have that. Number 2, it can't be a supercar unless it can at least get to 200 miles an hour as its top speed. Or close, okay? We're basing it off of our criteria for affordability, okay? So it's gotta be close. At 200 or with some mods to get to 200, okay? Within reason, we're saying. Number 3, it has to have at least a 6-liter, okay? A 6-liter engine, all right? None of this 2.0 turbo stuff. This has to have at least a 6-liter motor or larger, okay? Because we want to be through the gears and we really want to feel that pull. We want to feel our guts in the back of the seat, and a 6.0 and bigger is what we're going to need to do it. And number 4, the price of these supercars, now mind you, they're supercars, has to be $50,000 around there or less, and it has to be running, okay? I'm not about to give you guys a burned up car, right, for 50 grand and say, hey, this is your 10-second car. Because come on now, what's the fun in dropping 50 large if you're not able to get in there and start pounding through gears, okay? So with that, we are gonna jump into our list. Hope you enjoy it. Let's go. All right, guys, so we're gonna talk about number 5 on the list. None other than a 2018 Chevy Camaro ZL1, baby. We need that ZL1 because we need that supercharged motor with 650 horsepower and matching torque. Come on now, that thing's gonna be screaming off the line, right? This V8 motor means business. If you wanna slam that gas pedal and yell America,
America!
then this is the car to do it in. It's basically gonna be the same motor that's in the equivalent Corvette, but in my opinion, it's just gonna be a little bit more comfortable, especially you're gonna have other riders in the car, right? So you can give everybody the experience, not just 2 people. This car will do a quarter mile in 11, 12 seconds, has a top speed of 198 miles an hour. They might as well just said 200 miles an hour. I don't know why they do that. But you know what? Lose a couple pounds, get on that treadmill, right? You're gonna get yourself to that 200 mark anyway. We're talking about power to weight, right? Power to weight, that's what everybody talks about these days when you're trying to get that supercar feel. But this car is a little bit heavy, but you know what? If it can do 198 miles an hour, I think we're going places. Now, the cool thing about this car, and the reason why I put it on the list is because it matched our criteria. Is it really a supercar? Maybe not. Could it be considered just a sports car? Yeah, maybe. I'd probably consider it that. But you know what? Since it's really close to our criteria, I'm calling it a supercar. And you can pick a new one up, 2023, for about 80K. You can pick up a 2018 around 50K. And so if you're going to be getting a 6.2 supercharged motor, V8, going to be shifting through gears, hitting that 200 miles per hour mark at the top speed, I'm telling you that's a supercar all day long in my opinion, and that's why the Camaro ZL1 from 2018 made our list.
Did you yell America when you hit the accelerator?
Nope, no.
Number 4 on our list, we're going to be talking about the Dodge Viper. Coming out in 1992 to 2017, we are going to really be sticking around our 1992 to 1995 Dodge Viper because in my opinion, that's the years where it looked the coolest, it has the style that I like, it's minimalistic, and in 95, Dodge Viper came out with that RT10 motor, right? The 8-liter, okay? That thing was screaming down the line with 400 horses and a 6-speed transmission. Man, if that doesn't fit our criteria, I don't know what will. But this car is nasty, and when you see them, woo, they still turn heads like crazy. Back in 95, the top speed there was about 170 miles an hour, but with just a little bit of modification, I'm sure you can get to that 200 mark in no time. You can still pick one up with relatively no miles for around $50,000 or less. And that's why this car really made the list, because when I see these cars pop up, sometimes for like 30 grand, sometimes for 20 grand, I'm always like, do I got 20 grand sitting around somewhere? Because dang, I want that car so bad. And I'm telling you guys, these cars are getting a lot harder to find because they're becoming more and more and more collectible. So if you can go ahead and get your hands on one, get your hands on one. This is gonna give you that supercar experience for sure. And that's why it's number 4 on the list. All right, number 3 on the list. We cannot talk about this supercar list and also talk about affordability in the same sentence unless we're talking about the C7 Corvette. The 2014 to 2019 Corvette had that 6.2 liter motor, the LT1, but if you wanted to bump yourself up ahead of the game, we can get the Z06, which had the 6.2 liter supercharged motor that we talked about earlier, baby, because that thing is so sick. Get yourself that manual transmission. I think it had, I want to say 6-speed, but I think it went 7 speeds, man, because I'm a big Corvette fan. So I can just tell you, man, these things are nasty, and man, these things look good, and man, these things are gonna fly like crazy. Are you gonna get to that 200 mile per hour mark? Probably. I think the top speeds are like 190 or something like that. You're talking about a few air intake mods and exhaust modification. You're doing 200 all day long. So that's why it's number 3 on the list. Whew, that's a good looking car. So as we're moving down the list, now we are number 2, okay? And this can't be a list of supercars that could be affordable without talking about the Acura NSX. Some people say Honda NSX, but we're gonna say Acura NSX because that's what I know it by, and it just sounds tip off the tongue a lot better. We're talking about a 3.2 liter V6 6-speed manual transmission and a top speed of 170 miles an hour. But it's not uncommon to pick one up nowadays that's gonna go faster than that because these cars a lot of times are heavily modified. You see them all over the place with tubular exhaust systems, with crazy air intake systems, with crazy turbocharger systems. Guys, the list of mods for this car are basically endless. The common years to see this car on the road are a lot of 96s to 98s, and my favorites are those early 91s because they came out between 90 and 98. And you know what? Anything from the early 90s, when I see them, man, the first time I saw one, I thought it was a Ferrari. I had no idea, all right, in my young teenage years. Until I actually was like, whoa, this is a Honda? This is an Acura? Like, what? It even sounded like a Ferrari to me. So, guys, if you see one of these cars and you see a good deal on this car, maybe think about it. Don't pass it up because these cars are phenomenal. They look awesome. They're so flat. They're so flat. That's one thing I love about them. Like, they just look crazy. Maybe you can find one for 50, 60 grand, but guaranteed it's usually gonna come with higher mileage and might need a little bit of work. It is not uncommon to find these cars selling for 75 or 100 grand. So if you think that you are in the market for one of these and you maybe, into the market of flipping like higher end cars and you find one for 50, if you put the work in, you might be able to sell it for upwards of $100,000. Now, if I was to get one like that and I had that kind of dough for sure, and I had that asset column just like rolling in the Benjamins, and I knew that I can get myself a toy, I would probably keep this car. I'd probably have a warehouse like Jay Leno, okay? Because this car is a collector's car for sure. It's fast, it's awesome, and man, oh man, that's why it made the list at number 2. Alright guys, so we're only giving you 5 cars on this list, so it wouldn't be right if I didn't give some honorable mentions. Some cars that are relatively affordable for average Joes who are looking for that supercar feel. So I got 3 cars that I want to just put on this list here, okay? As far as mentioning cars that might give you that supercar feel, we're gonna start off with the Audi RS6 because we're talking about a twin turbo motor, guys. Come on, this thing is a wagon that flies, man. This thing screams and it just looks so cool. If I can get my hands on one of these, man. Okay, I mean, you're gonna be flying to soccer practice like crazy if you know what I'm talking about. And you guys know how much I love twins, man. You guys know that. God, I love twins. Another honorable mention we're going to be talking about is the Nissan R34 GTR because Brian Spooner, man, you know he can push that car to 200 miles an hour, and you know that this Nissan GTR can jump bridges. Man, all joking aside, guys, you know this is a very, very cool car. At this point, it's becoming more and more collectible. It's super fast, it's rad. You guys know it screams like crazy, and it's like one of the biggest head turners at any car show. You know, anytime you see this car rolling down the street, you're like, whoo, that gives you all the Fast and the Furious feels. All jokes aside, you guys know that this car could have easily made the list. And for everybody watching this far, this probably just gave you all the feels like it did for me. Okay guys, so for our last honorable mention, we're going to be talking about the C5 and C6 Corvette, because if you want that midlife crisis supercar feel, well then pull money from your asset column, baby, and get ready to beg your wife or your girlfriend for forgiveness, because this car is going to give you that angina that you've been looking for, but also get those heads turning. Man, these are sweet cars. You can get them in manual transmissions. They have the Z06. So guys, if you're trying to get yourself that supercar feel, but you also want that really, really sweet look, a lot of times you can get these cars for, you know, sometimes 30 grand, sometimes 20 grand. Dare I say it, you can get a C5 for maybe 15 grand. But guys, just know that the price of these Corvettes are gonna keep going up and up and up and up as they become more collectible, because these cars are so sweet, and the C5s are becoming more and more and more modified as tuners are picking them up. So, all of those honorable mentions aside, let's jump into my number 1 favorite supercar of all time. We made it to the end of the list here, so if you guys have made it this far into the video, please like and subscribe. It would really help the channel out and really motivate me to keep these videos going for you. So, being at the end of our list, we're talking about number 1. And it's one of the most iconic supercars out there. My favorite supercar of all time. We are talking about the Ferrari F40 with a 2.9 liter twin turbo V8 motor, baby. Come on now, come on. 5-speed transmission, 0 to 60 in 4 seconds. And guys, a lot of times these cars are modified and they do much better than 4 seconds in a 0 to 60. Top speed of 201 miles an hour, but we've all seen them go faster than that, guys. We definitely have. But why would it be my dream car? And maybe why would it be your dream car? With the minimal electronics, that 5-speed transmission, that like racing style cockpit. I just wanted to say cockpit. That large wing and all of those cooling vents. Whoo, this thing just looks sweet. It screams. It screams. Supercar right out of the box, and you just really can't beat that. And no wonder why it's on the list. It's one of the most legendary supercars of all time. It's every automotive collector's dream and speedster's dream alike. And anybody that wants to go fast, if they find themselves dabbling into this F40, it's going to be one of their dreams too, to own a car one day. Now, are you going to get one for 50 grand? No, you're not. You're not going to get one for 50 grand. How about 100? Are you going to get one for 100 grand? No, you're probably not going to get one for 100 grand either. Not running and probably all burned up maybe, but you know, Could you? I mean, maybe there's one selling for 100 grand out there for, you know, somewhere, but I don't see why, because if the car's running and it's in like a relatively decent condition, there's no reason why this car won't sell for $1 million. Damn! Oh yeah, I know that's out of reach for most people. It's out of reach for me too when I really think about it. Would I ever want to spend $1 million on a car? I mean, not unless I was making like $10 million a year, but you know, we look at it and I say to myself a lot of times when I'm daydreaming, you know, I'll never be able to afford a car like that. You know, I can't afford a car like that. But if you change your thinking and say to yourself, well, how can I afford a car like that? All of a sudden that little switch turns and it turns into I can't to how can I? And a lot of times that's all of the switching that you need to give yourself that little push to get the job done. All right, we can turn that goal into some planning. When you turn into that planning, man, sometimes magic happens, and I'm all about that, and I hope you're about that too. And with that, guys, thanks for hanging in there with me. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was entertaining and, dare I say, maybe educational for somebody. And if it was, please like, please subscribe. It would really help me out, help the channel out, and keep me motivated to keep pumping out these cool videos. Also, down below, let me know what your favorite supercar is. It doesn't have to be affordable. It could be something that's crazy, right? I love crazy, crazy fast cars. I like cars that are $3.5 million, all that good stuff. So if you have a supercar in your dreams that you just fantasize about, just ripping through gears and tearing up highways, you know, just let me know below. And if you like this video, also let me know below. I hope to see you guys in the next video. We got a lot of good stuff planned, so stay tuned, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good day.